Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about LCX. And before we fully jump on into this video, for all those LCX holders out there, if you guys have been enjoying the overall price action, definitely hit that like button. And also comment down below what you think one LCX will be worth at the top of the next bull run. And for those out there that are not subscribed to the channel, by the end of this video, I highly suggest that you guys consider hitting subscribe and also turning those notifications on to never miss a future update, as I'm constantly doing a ton of research and uploading videos almost 24/7. So with that, let's dive in and let's start off with this tweet here from LCX. So we do see that the LCX token is on the watch list of almost 40,000 investors on CoinMarketCap. It is a utility token empowering the LCX ecosystem. You know what's crazy about this? Is that almost 40,000 people are watching this, and there is a massive amount of individuals waiting on the sidelines to buy LCX because there's only 17,000 holders. And this has been increasing quite a bit, by the way. Going all the way back to the first half of this month almost, we were at 16,000. We added 1,000 holders since then. And the price back there was sitting at about 8 cents. And you could see the price increasing drastically during this entire time. And currently we're sitting at about 12 cents. We're down a little bit. We're going to be talking about the price chart here in a second. But we'll also be talking about quite a bit of things by the end of this video. So let's start off with this tweet here from Altcoin Rundown. So this was a great thread, and I even quoted it, and I talked a little bit about where LCX could be in due time. We'll talk about that as well. But we do see, what is LCX? LCX is the native token of the Liechtenstein crypto exchange. Their ecosystem is built on trust. They are fully compliant with regulations and aim to be a solution for professional investors. And then down here, we do see the LCX ecosystem consists of the LCX terminal, assets, exchange, protocol, vault, bank, and also Salamander. Salamander is a great decentralized exchange. We'll talk about that here in a second, but we do see the terminal, right? A trading desk for managing complete crypto asset trading across multiple platforms, assets, asset management across fiat and crypto assets alike, exchange, a regulated trading venue for digital currencies, protocol, a decentralized compliance protocol, standardizing the way security tokens are issued and traded on blockchains. And then the vault is institutional grade custodian solution. And then the bank, a part of the long-term vision, blockchain bank with a full bank license. And then among the core ecosystem, they are also creating Fire Salamander. This is a decentralized exchange aggregator with basic swap, pro swap, limit orders, and also DeFi data across major decentralized exchanges. On top of that, their token sale platform where protocols can launch their own fully compliant ICOs. LCX is an industry leader in the tokenization space. They have already launched their own take on the space with Diamonds, tokenized diamond NFTs. These can also earn auto yield in form of TIA for holders' supply decreases with time, making them deflationary as well. LCX token and use cases, market cap of $111 million. Right now, I believe that we are sitting at 100 and almost 13 million. That's fully diluted, by the way. And we do see up over 300% since the beginning of the year. Incentive mechanism for ecosystem participation, fee reduction up to 50%, full access to the DeFi terminal, used for fee payments. And then a quick look at some of their partnerships. Like I said, they have incredible partnerships with some of the major leaders in this industry. I talked about Link, QNT, HBAR, DOT as well. And then we also do see the World Economic Forum, Coinbase, Blockchain Research Institute, and that's just to name a few. And then the team, you guys already know the team. We don't really need to go in depth on the full-on team. Mainly, we talk about Monty quite a bit. He is like the major founder behind it. And yeah, he is an incredible individual if you listen to a lot of his breakdowns on where LCX is positioned, also where he believes the vision is. It's very incredible to say the least, and I do believe that we are very, very early in on what LCX is actually going to become. And we do see overall LCX truly has it all, with tokenization beginning to take off and investor safety being a big narrative lately. LCX has the potential to take the space by storm. LCX LCX is filling the much-needed gap of professional and regulated ways to invest in the crypto space. Keep an eye on them in the near future. The LCX token is up almost 300% over the past few weeks alone. It has a current market cap of $111 million, which can still be considered cheap compared to the exchange tokens like BNB. And yes, that is what I have been focused on. I've been talking about quite a bit of exchange tokens recently, and I've talked about what they're really lacking. Because as we do focus on where we are headed, I do believe that exchange tokens are still limiting in terms of, institutional grade adoption, which we will get to here in a second. But let's take a look real quick at the price. So my price targets for LCX are very, very simple. So far, we have hit major resistance on the 5-day span, as you guys do see. You can check it out on the 3-day span as well. 3-day span gives us a little bit of a better picture on just where we are at. The red line at the bottom, where we are currently trading on, this is major support that we've seen back here in March of 2022 and April of 2022 before we lost it. And when we did lose it, we ended up having a significant breakdown. So what I'm looking at right now is very simple. We either break this upper line where the resistance is and we target 22 cents, or we end up losing this 12-cent zone and then we target some lower price action areas. Mainly what I've been looking at is just back testing resistance at about like roughly 8 cents. So this would be the area of interest that I'm looking at. And if we do end up losing that zone, then we really just target the next major area of resistance, which would be at around like 6 cents. But anywhere within these two zones here, I would be a buyer of LCX. I've already bought LCX quite a bit down here in the 5-cent zone. I bought it down here in like the 3-cent zone and the 4-cent zone. And again, I will continue to accumulate LCX because I still believe that we are very, very early onto what LCX is really becoming. We take a look over here on Coin Perspective and we take a look at the exchange tokens. So as we go down the list, BNB is the first one that everyone has been focused on with LCX. And although, yes, it's great to compare and look at what the price potential of LCX could be, we're nowhere close to where BNB is just yet, but I do think that we could get to that level at some point in time. But at a $42 billion market cap, LCX would boast about a 450x return, making the price per one LCX about $54, which is pretty incredible to say the least. But hey, are we expecting that in the short term? Not really. I would say that we need to be a little bit more patient on that. But what I have been paying attention to and what I've been focused on is even like the decentralized exchange tokens, like Uniswap, for an example. Because although, yes, LCX is not the main bread and butter behind Fire Salamander, they still have a decentralized exchange offering on their tech stack. So when we take a look at LCX, do I think that LCX could potentially hit a $4.9 billion market cap, an upside of 52x, sitting at about $6.34 per LCX? Yeah, I do think so. But then when we compare it to other major exchange tokens, more so centralized exchanges, we really kind of have to go down the list and we have to look at like, Crypto.com. A $2.55 LCX, an upside of 20x. I think that is possible. I think that is conservative as well. And there's a few other exchange tokens. They're not so much in the top 100. I know many people have been comparing it to BNB lately, though. BNB would be the most, like the highest grade exchange token that we can compare it to. But I do think that we need to target some of the lower tier crypto exchange tokens first before we start comparing it to BNB. Because again, LCX is still very on in its infancy stages. I think that we still have a long way to go before we start targeting, BNB's market cap. But eventually, do I think that we can get there? Yeah, I think that we could get to BNB's market cap at some point in time in the future. Is it going to happen in the next major bull run? We have no idea. It all depends on how much money flows into LCX. Remember, LCX is already listed on some of the top tier exchanges like Coinbase, so it could happen. But are we expecting it? Not really. But what does LCX have to offer other than BNB, for an example? Well, Binance, the major difference is the regulatory boundaries that LCX does have over Binance. For an example, this is from Samit Sagar. He is the marketing head at LCX, and we do see at LCX, we always separate the fund, and it is by law, unlike Binance. For LCX, security is of utmost importance. And here we have from Bloomberg.com, Binance acknowledges storing user funds with collateral in error. A lot of these exchanges that we have in crypto right now cannot be trusted. Almost all of them it's like a plague that you want to avoid. And I think that this is one of the worst narratives because, at the end of the day, when you are talking to a retail investor, maybe somebody who never even heard of crypto, and you're like, hey, if you buy crypto on an exchange, you want to get it off of those exchanges. That would be a little bit of a red flag. Imagine going to a bank, depositing money, and you tell them, hey, you want to deposit that money, but then get that money right out and send it into your own, bank. That would be a little bit of a red flag to not trust banks at all. And it really kind of allows for the retail individual to not trust crypto at all as well, because again, if you can't trust the exchanges where you're buying crypto at, how could you trust crypto in general? So when we take a look at exchanges, I do think that the need for a regulated and more secure exchange like LCX is more needed today than ever before. And although everyone wants to tout Binance as being like the best exchange out there and it's way too big to fail, all this kind of stuff, I never trust any of these centralized exchanges within this space because most of them are not playing in terms of the regulatory frameworks that they should be working within. This is also why we start to see major nations, like even for an example, I think Binance is banned in the UK. Like a lot of the issues that we see around Binance are starting to kind of show. And I think it's more evident clear every single day that when we take a look at a lot of these exchanges, most of them going forward on in time will also have a collapse like FTX. Maybe it won't be just like FTX, but I do think that a lot of them will face regulatory scrutiny. I think that a lot of them will have, a lot of issues going forward as well in terms of regulations. And I think that the exchanges that are preparing for those regulations, like LCX for an example, are going to be the ones that stick around. I also do think that this tweet here from Anderson was great as well because I looked at it, I read it, and I was like, okay, yeah, I could fully see this being the reality around LCX. So we do see why I think timing is good for LCX right now. Highly regulated exchange in Europe. Europe is a big area right now around regulations and also crypto adoption. If you guys have been watching my XRP videos, if you guys have been paying attention to a lot of those videos, then you should know at this current moment in time that around the world, outside of the US, regulations around crypto, talks of adoption, and them streamlining the push towards crypto adoption as well has been a big focus point. And we do see here highly regulated exchange in Europe, incoming MiCA EU regulations that LCX is compliant with soon. Regulated banks, financial institutions will use regulated exchanges partnered with Quant focused on CBDC settlement as well. And yes, when we take a look at this one area here, regulated banks / financial institutions will use regulated exchanges. A lot of people think that these financial institutions are buying these crypto projects already. Like I see that being a big narrative being pushed to really push the price of these assets. At the end of the day, no financial institution is buying these tokens just yet. Also, they are not going to be utilizing Binance. See, the thing is that although Binance is one of the leading exchanges around crypto, hence the volume and things like that you could see on CoinMarketCap, the biggest issue around Binance or even around Coinbase or any exchange is, again, it's the uncertainty around regulations. When we take a look at LCX, LCX has that upper hand. I do think that LCX will boast and power the next adoption sector for financial institutions and regulated banks to jump into this entire industry. I think that sector around, regulatory certainty, as well as like financial institutions jumping in and financial institutional adoption, I think that that's going to be a very interesting area to focus on when we talk about a lot of these regulated tokens or these tokens that are focused on regulations early on. LCX has the upper hand. They've been preparing for this as well, going all the way back to January 16th. Traditional banks tap into trades on DeFi. So they do talk about what is DeFi and all that kind of stuff. But at the end here, what we see in terms of the conclusion, with traditional multinational banks expanding their horizons with DeFi trade and tokenized assets, it certainly proves that in the near future, the blockchain ecosystem and decentralized finance are going to give traditional financial institutions a run for their money. We all have just barely scratched the surface when it comes to how DeFi can change the financial market of the world. There is certainly more to witness in the future. And yeah, as we do talk about like, traditional banks, institutions, all that kind of stuff, we are going to see a major pivotal moment in crypto. And that is going to be a lot of tokenization, a push towards utilizing crypto processing applications like DeFi, for an example. And we're going to start to see that mass adoption from the institutional grade sector happen pretty quickly. I think that this tweet here from Monty himself is great. For an example, with a 50-fold increase predicted between 2022 and 2030, from $310 billion to $16.1 trillion, tokenized assets are expected to make up 10% of global GDP by the end of the decade. And when we look at that and we look at what LCX is doing, right, they are positioning LCX for this. That's why when you go over to LCX's website and you go to the About section, you can see what they want to do with LCX. They want to empower this new economy. They want to be behind this new financial economy that is going to be built on tokenization, digitization, and it's mainly going to be a shift that happens within, the next coming years. We're already starting to see a lot of these nations move very fast on crypto regulation, crypto adoption. They want to be the first ones to really adopt this technology. The United Kingdom has recently said that they want to become a crypto hub, and many other areas around the world, even in the UAE, they also want to become a crypto hub. And it's because of the power and the potential behind this. We are going to see these assets, these exchanges that are regulated. Remember the LCX exchange. We're going to see a lot of these major projects that are focused on regulations, that are doing the work, that are putting in the time. These are going to be the ones that get leveraged the most. And when we take a look at that, and we take a look at where LCX currently is in price and market cap, I do think that at some point in time, LCX will be in the top 10. Could LCX be a $10 plus token? 100%. I mean, when you take a look at a $10 LCX, a $7.8 billion market cap, that is absolutely nothing for what they are trying to do. Now, is it going to happen in the next bull run? Who knows, right? Anything is possible, but I do believe that in time, if you are patient enough, I strongly believe that LCX not only will shock the entire crypto industry, but I also believe that it will make a lot of individuals rich that have the patience, that can wait, that can sit here and see the things being built out and not get shaken out by any market turbulence. And with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys have more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. It's up to you all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.